Alrighty, yo, what's just going on, everybody? It's your boy, Mr. DDG94, back with another reaction video. Today, we're finna react to wrestlers who went off script and changed the finish. This should be interesting. Without further ado, let's get right into it. Sis on.
In wrestling, sometimes the planned finish can change while the match is already in progress.
And the referee says, Vince says Cody's up. Vince says Cody's up. We're seconds to going off the air.
Restart the match. Restart. Like, how the fuck can I restart this match? He didn't get inside the ropes.
Perhaps due to botches, injuries, or simply a judgment call.
I was supposed to use the mirror as the finisher. I was supposed to crack it over her head, but Trish stepped on it.
We'll have examples of all three and more today, as we highlight 10 times wrestlers went off script and changed the finish to a match.
And I just wanted to put the kid over. I said, let's just not say anything. Don't tell anybody. Let's just put you over. And that's what I did. And I wasn't supposed to.
John Cena and JBL's parking lot brawl from the 2008 Great American Bash was one of the last violent encounters of its kind before WWE went PG. Cena had famously destroyed Bradshaw in a brutal I Quit match 3 years earlier, but now Layfield would get his revenge in another dangerous match stipulation. However, numerous things didn't go as planned during the parking lot brawl, which JBL revealed on the Something to Wrestle podcast.
I hit that door with my shoulder and almost broke my shoulder. Didn't budge. And then they said the window would not break. I throw Cena's head into the window. His head goes right through it. So the two things they said would not happen happened right away. Cena got all cut up from the glass in the going through the window.
Things got so physical that the wrestlers had to call an audible at the end.
The finish was supposed to be something different. When I threw Cena off the stage into the windshield, I crawled up to get him, and he said, "Just cover me here." And I knew that he was cut up pretty bad or hurt, and so he didn't want to move because he was scared he's going to get cut up with the glass.
The weight of Cena's body collapsing the windshield.
That's why the finish ended up on the windshield, right there. Yeah, he had landed on a. That was a legit windshield. He just went flying into it.
Bradshaw was still meant to win, but he and John went home early because Cena was too hurt to continue. The altered finish worked well, since it was a brutal way to cap off an incredibly physical contest. 4 years prior at Judgment Day 04, JBL challenged Eddie Guerrero for the WWE Championship. This one was another hard-hitting affair, as both men painted each other red all throughout the clash. Bradshaw needed to have a huge performance, since it was his first singles main event on pay-per-view, so there was a lot riding on the match, especially after the great build-up on television. The problem was Eddie and agent Pat Patterson had disagreed over the finish Pat had pitched. After hearing about this, JBL suggested calling the finish on the fly, depending on how the crowd responded to the match.
And he goes, "What do you want to do?" I said, "Can we call the whole thing out there?" And he said, "Guys, if you succeed or if you fail, it's on you, not on me." He said, "I'll still be here." He said, "If you fail, you won't be. And if you make it," he said, "I hope you do."
Layfield knew how much Eddie's work relied on feel and reacting to the audience, so felt this was the best compromise.
We knew it was going to be a DQ. We didn't know how we were going to do it, and we knew about what time we were going to do it. We didn't know how we were going to do it.
This decision made for a highly intense encounter at the pay-per-view. Despite all the blood loss, Guerrero was able to stay coherent and finish the match, as he and Bradshaw worked a brutal barn burner, which the sellout crowd in LA completely ate up.
Damn.
Because Eddie had cut himself so deep with an extra sharp dagger-like blade, the kayfabe story of the finish was that Eddie had lost so much blood the match went out the window, as Guerrero's primal survival instincts kicked in.
Eddie Guerrero starting to feel it. How Shaw can't believe it. What the hell is the matter with him?
Calling things on the fly ended up working out, as JBL put in a good showing in his main event debut.
Eddie, title! And Eddie! And now the ref sees this. Eddie with the title to the skull. Eddie Guerrero!
Eddie was beat up afterwards due to the deep cut and had to be sent to the emergency room. Kurt Angle was TNA's biggest star on the active roster during his tenure with the company. This meant Kurt could craft creative decisions to his liking if he wished. Historically, past stars who had such control often wreaked political havoc on whatever company they were in, but instead of politicking himself to win a title, Angle once decided to lose a belt when he wasn't supposed to. This went down at No Surrender 2007, where Kurt put up the X Division Championship against Jay Lethal. Angle was probably the best wrestler in the world at this time, time. So much so that he not only held the IWGP Heavyweight title, but also the TNA Tag, X Division, and World title as well. Since Kurt was holding 4 belts already, he saw fit to get rid of one while also putting someone over in the process.
And I just wanted to put the kid over.
That was a good moment though. That was a feel good moment though. When that happened though, when they gave him the belt, that shit was a feel good moment, bro. Yeah, my black brother. Yeah.
I was holding all the gold. I didn't need all that gold.
Even though TNA didn't want this to happen, and booked Angle to defeat Lethal.
I said, let's just not say anything. Don't tell anybody.
Like, it was a feel good moment, but at the same time, it was kind of like you kind of wanted to see Kurt carry on with the titles, bro. You kind of wanted to see him carry on with the titles, but it was still a feel good moment though. I really wanted Kurt to hold on to them titles for a long time, bro, because his work around that time was just top fucking notch, bro, to the point where you wasn't even mad that he had all the titles. You wouldn't even be mad about it. You was like, bro, he fucking deserves it. Kurt Angle, come on, bro.
Let's just put you over, and that's what I did. And I wasn't supposed to.
Lethal and the Olympic gold medalist told the story on the Kurt Angle show.
Kurt didn't want to have all the belts, and this was his chance.
Who was it making by me having all the belts?
Correct. Who was it
that night I made somebody, by you defeating me.
It proved to be one heck of a match. The crowd went completely nuts when Lethal scored the upset victory, since few saw it coming, especially the bookers in the back, who weren't best pleased with Angle changing the finish.
He got it. Lethal gonna take no roll through.
That was a feel good moment right there. That was a feel good moment right there.
That's what we've all just witnessed.
Trish Stratus and Victoria's hardcore match from Survivor Series 2002 ended in somewhat anticlimactic fashion following a fire extinguisher spot and a basic snap suplex. The finish was meant to involve a large mirror, but the women had to pivot after Trish accidentally stepped on the gimmick glass, which caused it to crack. Victoria talked about what happened during interviews with Ring the Bell and Chris Van Vliet.
I was supposed to use the mirror as the finisher. I was supposed to crack it over her head, but Trish stepped on it.
Trish also attempted to bring in a cookie sheet, perhaps as an alternative to the mirror. However, the sheet fell off the turnbuckle and wasn't seen again in the match. You can then see Victoria realize the mirror had been smashed, so she goes for the fire extinguisher instead.
I was like, I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. Yeah. And my go-to move was, my favorite move was the suplex. I did that as a finish.
The fire extinguisher right into the face. Had to get her in the eyes there. Oh, Victoria, the hook of the leg. Did she get it? She got it. You gotta be kidding me.
Vince McMahon once decided to change the winner of a match right before it was set to end. The chairman did this as a joke, just as MVP was about to defeat Cody Rhodes on the August 24, 2010 episode of NXT. The match had initially been slated for 10 minutes. Then while already in the ring, MVP and Cody were told by the referee John Crone that they now had 24 minutes, because a different segment in the show was scrapped. MVP revealed this on his Marking Out podcast.
The referee's talking to Cody and patting him down and doing his thing, and I hear Cody go, "What the fuck?"
In the final stretch of the bout, the ref told MVP that Cody was now going over, per Vince's orders over the earpiece.
And the referee says, "Vince says Cody's up. Vince says Cody's up." We're seconds to going off the air.
McMahon was in hysterics when the wrestlers got back through Gorilla.
We come back through the curtain. Vince takes off the headset and he's laughing.
MVP, on the other hand, was fuming and let it be known.
God like, damn it! Tell the other fuckboys to do that. Or something I said, like I was hot.
In our next example, it was Triple H who changed the winner while a match was in progress. It was for a much different reason to McMahon, who did it as a joke. The game made this call during a match in the Mae Young Classic from 2017, pitting Marty Bell against Rachel Ellering. Bell had been booked to go over, but apparently Triple H wasn't happy with her work during the bout, enough to where he decided to switch the finish to Rachel winning instead.
Poses a very unique threat.
Bell had blown a few spots, which were edited out by the time the match aired.
Capitalized on the mistake. Marty on top and Rachel kicking out. Rachel Evers inside cradle out of nowhere.
Why gotta be the sister though?
Bell
Why
wrestled
gotta
the
be the
tag
black
match at the
sister
tapings
though?
one day later, but as of 2025, she hasn't made another appearance for WWE. Sometimes the referee can change the finish without being told to do so there and then from anyone in the back. Examples include shoot DQs, or in this case, a shoot countout. During the 2000s, Vince McMahon told his refs to always count as if it were real. If a wrestler didn't kick out or answer the 10 count on the outside when they were meant to, it was the talent's fault, not the officials. Refs would even be given a bonus on house shows for shoot counting or shoot DQing the competitors. It was all about the referee keeping their credibility and not looking silly. A shoot countout occurred on the 205 live show during a match between Chad Gable and Jack Gallagher on June 11, 2019. Senior official Mike Chioda kept the same cadence for his entire count, so when Gallagher dropped to the floor and then took an extra second to get back in, Chioda didn't stop.
Is Gallagher going to be able to beat the... It's at 8. Gallagher's out. Referee's at 9. Hey, Gallagher at 10.
Mike explained the finish in an interview with Wrestling Then and Now.
He lands on the end of the apron outside the ropes. And I'm like, 10. He just looks at me. I'm like, he's like, what are you doing? I'm like, you're not in the fucking ring. You're on the outside of the ropes.
Yeah, guys, all I can we see this one again? I'm sure both these men want to see this one more time.
Like, I felt bad. He goes, restart the match. Restart. Like, how the fuck can I restart this match? He didn't get inside the ropes.
Exactly.
Gallagher wasn't sure, felt like perhaps he beat the 10 count.
Had this been an important match on a big show, Chioda would have naturally shown more leniency, but in this case, he felt it was necessary to count the wrestler out, given the circumstances. Chioda got heat from Vince backstage for this next example, but not for changing the finish, but rather for not ending the match due to an injury. The match in question saw Candice Michelle face Beth Phoenix on the October 22nd,
Oh yeah, I
2007
remember
edition
this
of
one.
Raw. Candice was seeing stars after a nasty fall from the top rope.
Gonna take a chance.
Oh yeah, that was. Yeah, that's. Oh my god.
Given her condition following the bump, those backstage thought Chioda should have immediately ended the match via a referee stoppage, but Chioda instructed Beth to go for the cover to end it. This was dangerous since Phoenix dragged Candice by her injured head, which could have caused further damage.
We ought to stop this. She's out.
Chioda spoke about the finish during an interview with Rewind, Recap, Relive.
Beth didn't know she was hurt even, and she pulled her by her hair and dragged her out. I had so much heat from Vince that I should have called the match. You know, she was concussed, but she wasn't knocked out, and she wound up fracturing her collarbone.
Next, we have a referee jumping the gun and immediately ending the match after thinking there was an injury. It happened when Mickie James battled Asuka on the September 14th Raw from 2020. Asuka was booked to win with the Asuka lock, but the ref called for the bell after she was rolled into a pin, despite Mickie never having submitted.
And I believe Mickie tapped out. What?
The announcers were left confused, and had there been fans
That's why I always wonder what happened to the bald black brother. I said, what happened to the bald black brother? I see what happened.
in the arena, they certainly would have booed the decision. Apparently, the referee thought James was hurt, so he ended the match. Turns out she was just selling really well.
I was hurt and that I couldn't continue. For me, I go like, I felt like I could continue. It's an unfortunate loss.
It's possible that the official was being extra careful after a big injury occurred the previous week when Ivar hurt his neck. The referee in that match quickly ended things, so it's possible the ref in Mickey's match saw fit to do the same as a precaution. A referee also plays a key role in this next finish, which occurred during the Divas Championship Invitational at WrestleMania 30. AJ Lee defended the belt against 13 other wrestlers. The booked finish was rumored to set up a future singles match for the title with AJ and Naomi, but a botch caused these plans to be scrapped. At Mania, AJ was meant to force Naomi into submitting by grabbing her hand and tapping it off the mat. AJ did this, however Naomi began tapping her other hand at the same time. It's not known why Naomi did this, but it's possible that she noticed the ref was not in the right position to see her other hand being forced to tap, as you can see him switch sides multiple times. Meanwhile, Naomi's own sight was obstructed given the nature of the Black Widow submission hold. Naomi taps with her right hand for a few seconds, but here's no response from the ref, so she then taps with the left. The camera angle is also in the wrong position to catch the first tap out, so it seems like there was a trilogy of errors, so to speak.
Man, AJ gets back in, there we go, Black Widow.
Regardless if Naomi tapping with both hands was audible or not, it wasn't supposed to happen, and it could well have had implications for the next night on Raw, since NXT champion Paige made her debut to defeat AJ for the Divas title. This start may have been originally reserved for Naomi, and the WrestleMania finish gone off as intended. Now if you enjoyed this video, be sure to check out our similar video on WWE footage they didn't want you to see.
Alrighty, man, that's just gonna about do it for this one. Yeah, hey man, shit. Like I said, man, it's wrestling, dog. Shit happens in this shit. Nothing's perfect. Something's gonna always happen. And when it does, gotta do what you gotta do, man. Gotta think about the safety of everybody, man. We want everybody gotta go. Hey, the main thing is go in here, get this paycheck, let's go home. I mean, shit gonna happen, but hey, let's make sure everybody gets home. That's the most important thing. When you step in that ring, you taking a big risk. You know the risk you taking, but at the same time, as the referee, as the competitors, as the people in the back, let's make sure everybody gets home. That's all that matters. But anyway, so that's just gonna about do it for this one. I will see you all in the next video. Till then, peace out.